Hello and welcome to our final match of the day between Exodunks and Footwork. I'm Alexi Aksan and I'm here with Ithaca Hawk for the final match.
Yeah, so we're seeing, as you said, the Footwork team sitting out at 50 and the Hype 30 from the Exodunks team, along with the Tackle, the Prophecy, and the Rifter at 0. I think immediately we're going to see that Rifter and the Prophecy overheat micro-warp drives and burn straight towards that Typhoon, who is immediately going to overheat his micro-warp drive and burn as far away as possible. They really need to shred that Rifter. I mean, absolutely critical. That Talwar and that Slasher just need to screen and shred that Rifter before it gets to them. It's just the most important thing for the Footwork team right now. And the match is underway, so here we go. Let's see exactly how it plays out.
And we see, surprisingly, the Scythe is actually coming in towards the centre of the arena. Not quite sure what
move.
On the other hand, they know that Hyperion can't get to them quickly, and they are already putting damage on that Rifter. They know they need to keep that off of their valuable assets in Logi and battleships.
Yeah, they're doing exactly what they need to do here and primarying that Rifter. That is the ship that can hurt them the most in this match. It's the one that can lock down the Typhoon and just help that Hyperion trundle up and get on top of them. Now, they are burning around sort of sideways, so they're not getting too far away. Cleverly, they're trying to stay out of MJD range from that Hyperion, and they are applying some damage to it, probably from that Typhoon they're just hitting from long range. The Rifter's still alive. He is receiving reps from Per Ole in the Augurer, but he isn't making a play for them just yet. He's up about them with the Prophecy, but he's not doing too much yet.
At the same time, a lot of damage going on to that Hyperion. Hyperion of Zaraxol, worth noting, he was piloting the Griffin in the last match, whilst Wasa QC, who's piloting the Rifter here, was piloting their battleship, so huge change up in what their pilots are doing, but they are trying to split the reps that Perol has to give out and work that Logi as hard as they can to find a way to break it.
Yeah, so the Feryx has been scram-webbed now, and he is now grappled by that Hyperion who's just trundling. So that Feryx is going to just absolutely eat dicks in any moment now. As soon as that Hyperion gets into range, he's going to just die. I don't think Lady Arian in the side is going to be able to do very much to keep that Feryx alive under the DPS of a Hyperion. But that does mean that their Typhoon is still free, and that is really, really important, because you can just see the huge amount of damage being applied to that Prophecy right now, pretty much purely from that Typhoon, as it's just massive amounts of damage.
Indeed, that Prophecy, as low in armor as that Ferox is in shields, but the Scythe can constantly keep putting out those reps, trying to keep that Ferox alive. It's dropping very low, though, going into armor now with another huge volley coming out of those Hyperion blasters.
Yeah, Lady Arian in the Scythe doing quite a good job there, keeping Intana in the Feryx alive longer than I thought possible under Hyperion, but he is now dropping into Hull and will be just a couple more shots from that Hype and he'll be gone. Now, after that, we'll see what the Exodunks team do, what they try and move their tackle onto. They really do need to try and tackle that Typhoon, as it's the one that's just applying the most damage. And as soon as they catch it, that's it. That really is it. Now, that Prophecy is low armor, but he is starting to hold. And I guess with the drop-off of damage from the Feryx, he might be able to stabilize. The Talwar does a chunk of DPS, but it looks like he's busy focusing on the Rifter just now.
And we see Lady Aaron become the focus of this Exodunks team. They sent their Rifter out, it's taken some damage for it, but it's managed to get tackle on that Scythe, and the Scythe is going to drop into armor in a second, and that's going to be it for Lady Aaron.
Yeah, and the Dragoon heading out towards the Typhoon there, so that Typhoon is now webbed. He really needs to just get out of there, because as soon as he's webbed, it's going to be very, very slow, and that is going to allow the Rifter, and more importantly, the Hyperion, to close that distance down. So, you know, Typhoon, overheat your mag warp down and get out of there.
And we see a very good call from Exodunks. They're just clearing off that Slasher now. It has no support. Damage sticks, they get rid of that, and they can move their ships that much more easily.
Yeah, Hyperion grappled slightly by the Hyperion, as that Miss Floydie went very close to the Hyperion there, but seems to have just managed to coast out of range. It is now pulling range again, getting away and pulling a bit of distance. Quite important that that Typhoon does not get caught. Now, they can still apply a huge amount of DPS, so it is possible to avoid a domination victory here if they manage to kill something with that Typhoon. Now, the problem is it doesn't apply great to the smaller ships, and it probably can't break the Prophecy or the Hyperion under Augurer reps, so I'm not really sure what he's going to do. And now he is scrammed and webbed by the Rifter, so it's just a case of, you know, how long do you have to wait for the Hyperion to trundle into range?
It's not going to be long at all. That Rifter bringing web and scram will completely lock down that Typhoon. Hyperion damage is going to be landing on it, and it's only got 50% shield left. When Thermonuked in the Thrasher, Talwar went down, it's just going to be game over because it cannot screen out the small ships. Even though it's got a newt, it just won't do enough to stop itself from being tackled. And Miss Floyd's Typhoon is going to be burning down quite quickly now.
Yeah, so that is the Hyperion now just ramming the Typhoon. That massive amount of damage now being applied straight to the face of Miss Floydy, who is, by the way, wearing the IGC skin in the Typhoon, so it is a fantastic looking ship. Unfortunately, it's going to die very quickly now. And with that, it'll be a fantastic domination victory for the Exodunks team, which puts them up into a very competitive position in the league table going into the final weekend next week. Yeah. Bit of a shame for the Footwork team here. They probably would like to get at least one kill, but I think Exodunks just played this pretty much perfectly. They waited. They didn't just rush in really early. They held the Rifter back a little bit, waited until people were focusing more on what they were doing rather than positioning, and then they snuck it in and tackled what they needed to do.
Indeed, and I think with this victory, and it's going to be a dominating one as we see that Typhoon drop through structure, Exodunks will be untouchable at the top of the minor league table.
So it's actually kind of important to notice here, the Typhoon is actually scramming the Hype, who apparently is DC'd, so if the Typhoon was to drop the scram, Hyperion might warp off with an E-warp, which would cause it to self-destruct, saving the domination victory. But unfortunately that's not to be, as the Typhoon goes down, and that is the end of the fight. Domination victory by Exodunks here, without even the Hyperion apparently being logged in. Fantastic match, and I love seeing it. Back to the studio.